I want to have sex with the freezer.
Sometimes.
You know what I mean? Now I could get down. I got a sex positive family. Okay.
All right. So couple of things here, and I'll get back to the clip, but I am not a fan of these hairstyles. this Cisco, it's and this Smurfette, whatever this is, left hair. I'm just not a fan of that stuff. I'm just not. I've never been a fan of it. I've only seen like maybe a couple women that look great with this, but outside of that, no.
This is probably going to be wrong, but I can't help but feel this way. If you have short hair that's dyed, I just assume you've munched carpet at some point in your life. I just automatically just make that connotation. And if that's your thing, cool, whatever. But that's not everybody's thing. You got to be mindful of stuff like that. So far, my theory's been right, though. I ain't gonna lie.
That's true too. Yeah, that is an indicator.
I come from a sex positive mother. I'm one of 7. She got all different daddies. Okay, Johnny, maybe it's crazy.
Period. Okay. Now why your mama catch a straight line?
She know what it is.
I feel like it's totally.
She said she had 7 kids or 7 siblings or something. So she put her mom out there like that. I didn't hear anything about the father.
I think by 7 different men.
For me, in the sense, like, I really do agree that women should have a whole phase. Every time I've tried to have a whole phase, I always run into somebody with a very small penis.
Oh
every
my
time.
God, that's awful.
And it's just like,
warning, enemy nuke has been launched. Repeat, enemy nuke has been launched.
Wow.
These are the times we're in.
Men,
I mean,
their wives.
You're more open-minded about this type of stuff than I am. Where do you stand on this?
Look, and we appreciate that the women are coming out here and having these conversations and just telling the people. But I think for most men, we understand that most women are going to have a 3 or 4 phase. Okay. Generally, it's in their 20s, and then sometimes it can be in their 40s. But usually, I think most people understand that you're going to be a 3 or 4 phase at some point. The part that's crazy is that she's talking about like, she's talking about like 3 or 4 phases, like, you know, like this is the season or something. Like, this is wild. Like, I've never seen a situation where people are just, and first of all, it's funny that they're talking about 3 or 4 phase with the folks that are up there, because it's like, are you really having a 3 or 4 phase like that? And then also, good luck to the guy that wants to, you know, get down on one knee and say, hey, will you be my wife? Because they're going to pull this clip up.
So I've said this before and I'll say it again. Women have more sex than men. Let's go ahead and just throw that out there right now. We're not about to sit here and play this stupid, innocent damsel game anymore. Y'all been getting it in, and y'all get it way more than we do. One of the worst situations to be in with a woman is a woman that you don't experience anything with for the first time. Like, say you're with a woman, you want to take her on a vacation to Jamaica, Ocho Rios or something like that. She done already been down there a couple times. Okay, what if you want to take her to Dubai? She done already been there. She done already tried all the restaurants, tried all the food, tried all the sexual positions, had every spice and appetite in life.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think that relationship is going to go, especially with a man who's not experienced that type of stuff before? Like, this is a very satisfying feeling to give your lady something for the first time and just to see her face light up in pleasure, seeing it in shock and amazement. And you essentially are taking all of those moments away. And I've talked about soul ties before, which I do believe in. Look, if you've been with somebody like that, you can't fully disconnect from them. You're always going to remember certain things on who did what better and how this differed from that. And I'll say this again too. Men tell women all the time what they want and what they value. They just don't care. Women are born with value, and then it kind of declines as they get older, and they have to work on keeping it and maintaining it. Meanwhile, men are born with 0 value. And as they get older, it's based on our outputs and our outcomes and our resources. So it's like a reverse curvature. And women don't understand this. And I actually just posted a Forbes article. I love to go to Forbes for stuff. The top things that men want in a marriage with women. And number 5 is pleasing disposition. And that means that you're not masculine. That means that you know how to be feminine and inspiring and beautiful. And you're going to be easy on the eyes and appealing. And you're going to understand who's leading and who's directing and who's the CEO versus who's the board. Now, all of these women are more concerned with being men. And this completely grosses me out when I hear this. Have you ever heard a woman ask for head? She'll say, "Give me some head."
Oh yeah, especially in rap songs. Like, bitch.
That is the most masculine, just cringeworthy thing I've ever heard come out of a woman's mouth. Like,
Yeah.
we have a role reversal problem, man. These women are becoming more and more like men, and these dudes are being hypersensitive and can't handle pressure. And just, we got some serious role reversal stuff going on right now, man. This is crazy.
Yeah. I think for men, you're going to have to like get over this fantasy that the woman that you're going to be with, or the woman you think you're going to be with, she's going to have a pass. Once you acknowledge that, then you could probably try to move forward, because then you got to start making peace that you're probably, if it goes south, you're going to get railroaded in the court system as well too. So you got to make peace with a lot of things. So it's good that we're hearing these conversations from a lot of women, and we'll get back to the clip as well too. But at the end of the day, a lot of these men, they're just blinded because I want to say, like, one of the best people on YouTube that kind of opens your eyes, and for some of you may even see that I've taken some inspiration from this creator, but it's CGA, Coach Greg Adams. He has lived a very full life, and he has definitely he's trying to educate men because he wants men to win. And he wants men to win, but not at the expense of women, though, because that's not going to help anybody. Women want to win at the expense of men, and you see how that's working out. And so for a lot of these men, I mean, we're seeing it play out with Travis Hunter. Like, you're going to have to like make some hard choices about the woman you're going to want to be with or be in your circle, and then also you're going to have to say, hey, if you can't get on board, you got to go, or you are cutting up. Like, you're making me look bad. You got to go. Or if your woman has a past, like, especially with if she's, OnlyFans or something, or, this is somebody you want to be the mother of your kids and she's been ran through. You got to make some tough choices. You got to start, first of all, you got to start asking those questions. I don't think a lot of men are asking women about, the women that they want to be wives, they want them to be their wife. They're not asking that question about, hey, do I have to worry about anything coming up from your past where, a bunch of men are going to say they slept with you or you got a train ran? I mean, even then you probably don't want to hear that, though, but you got to find a way to ask that question. And then also you got to be able to like deal with it. So don't ask the question if you can't deal with it, but you definitely got to be mindful, because what we're saying about playing with Travis Hunter, we got people creating t-shirts of, someone grabbing his girl's cheeks. Like, this is bad. Like, man, I don't feel bad for Travis, though, because we're going to talk about this later, but he was told. He was warned.
I feel bad for him, but I will talk about that later. Back to the women. Look, your value is in your femininity and your purity. Those are the two biggest things that you can present with that men will cherish and want to provide and take care of. But if you want to disregard that, it's a free world, do you? But look around you, and if you want to be married or if you want to be in a long-term relationship, more than likely you don't have any friends who are. You don't see any. Your parents aren't. There's nobody for you to mentor you in that regard. And I'm telling you, if this is what you want, you don't want to keep going with this new wave stuff. These women are leading you astray. Just chill out for a minute. I'm not saying. I mean, abstinence is ultimately, it's not logical, but it is the safest choice. But at least manage your stuff appropriately and make sure it means something if you're going to be intimate with somebody. That's what I suggest, because it's more respectable and it'll help you out. I don't want to ever be in a situation where I'm with somebody and I'm like, man, where did she learn this from? This is wild. Like, because it's always going to be in the back of your head that some Chad or Tyrone was banging around in their college days and just being completely like I don't like just
Yeah,
doing
just
vile things
wild.
or yeah. And the other issue with this type of mentality is you're indirectly telling the man that you do commit to that you're not giving him the best version of yourself. You already gave that to somebody else. And that's something that he's going to have to deal with too. And it's downright disrespectful because more than likely you're putting rules on him that you didn't put on the guy that used to just come over at 2 o'clock and didn't even call you before he
Yeah.
came. So like you're essentially saying that the more stable men that do want to marry, it's okay to disrespect them, but I don't want to disrespect this dude that didn't do anything for me but come over and slang some D. Pause.
Mhm. Yeah. Yep. Let me get back to this. Oops.
Feel like that's
You a
God.
house, so move on.
Yeah, no, I can't. I can't. I remember last year, literally, I tried it back to back. I was like, okay, Lord. And
That's
mind
it.
you, I was down in Jamaica.
Just
You don't know.
I see Jamaica. I just said that.
Jesse,
Yeah,
we
you
want to
did,
know.
obviously.
Hold on, pause real quick.
How small?
I should have pulled this up. I was listening to first of all, you mentioned CGA earlier. Shout out to CGA. We rock with CGA over here. Another thing I'm gonna call out is Anton Daniels. He literally had a panel full of women that were telling me or telling everybody who would listen
Mhm.
that on these girl trips, y'all think it's just dudes that's doing wild stuff. These girls is doing crazy stuff to each other on these girls trips too.
Oh yeah, I just saw that too. I was like, man,
And she specifically mentioned Jamaica.
ain't nothing sacred.
Yeah, man. It's man, if you want tradition, you're gonna have to search high and low, deep and wide to find
No,
something
I don't.
like that.
I don't think tradition exists anymore. Like, here's the thing. There's just two things. If you want to say a traditional woman is still out there, still exists, like I'm talking about ones that are not married. If you want to say that woman is still out there, good luck keeping it holding on to her because you keep her and everybody sees that she is traditional. She's gonna have a lot of her value goes through the roof. So I don't know what you're gonna do about a traditional woman. And for the ones that can kind of like, blur the lines or whatever the case is, them the dangerous ones because everyone thinks like these 5s and 6s are the ones that are gonna like be faithful to you. They're the ones doing the most damage. They're the ones generating the most divorces. Like
Yeah.
I know a lot of times it's easy to think that, like these celebrities are there, they get a lot of divorce, blah, 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 and they do. But the majority of the divorces are occurring with people that don't look nothing like these celebrities. They're just regular people. And people aren't really having a conversation with stuff like this. I mean, I was watching, the CGA was he did a section on women in postpartum depression, and it was a skit on TikTok. But I mean, the skit is one thing. The comments were another thing, where women were talking about leaving their husbands because of postpartum depression, and it was really messed up, man. Like I really lost like a lot of faith in like. I'm still thinking, I'm like, why would a woman like, to me, postpartum, I don't know postpartum depression like that, but I didn't realize like postpartum depression is like a leading cause, like where people will leave their spouses or, why that friction occurs is that because they're going through their hormonal change. Well, when they're at home, they're going through hormonal changes, but when they're at work, they don't have those postpartum issues, which is another fascinating thing. But unfortunately, like for a lot of men, you're gonna have to deal with like a lot of these leftovers. The women, the rest of the women, they're just out there and they're not changing. They're not going back to how things used to be. And so it's the men that need to change. It's the men that need to wake up and start understanding their, the type of woman that you're going to want is probably not going to be out there for you. And if she is out there for you, everyone's going to want that same woman.
Yeah, it reminds me of the old Chris Rock joke. He basically said that when you're dealing with women, you have to be comfortable with the fact that you were not her first option. Like you just have to be comfortable with that because that's just the society we live in now. I forget which I want to say it was Bigger and Blacker where he said that toward the very end, but I know that for a fact that was Chris Rock. So that being said, good luck, fellas. Choose wisely. If you got you a real one, hold on tight. If you have any doubts, more than likely it's not a real one.
Yep. And for the ones that are not going the marriage route, check out CGA. All right.
Shout out to the coach gang.
Yeah.